Hello, student. Our today's lecture number 11, is basically a continuation of our last lecture in which we discuss if else statement. As is the first control structure we have described, and this control structure have a very important role in programming. In last lecture, we have done that all the basic artificial intelligence softwares or all the applications, equation solving, business-oriented software. The main thing on which they are compromised on is if analysis. We already have all gone through with what if analysis. So if is the most important thing in this structure. If you understand this structure in C++ language, it will be very helpful if you want to advance your career in software engineering, and furthermore, you want to run Java or Python. In all the language, if you know the basic structure and basic logical algorithm of the if statement, they're only a variation of syntax to syntax, and those, believe me, getting easier from C++ as you progress on. In Java is a simplified C++, as you go in Python is more user friendly. The basic thing, if you know the very basic foundation structure of if statement, how if statement works, and what the various sentences of if statement. Our last lecture, we only have discussed that if statement with a single line argument, where we said if a condition is true, then perform some task. Otherwise, else you perform another task. If and else combination. Today, what we are doing is a very important data structure is called the decision tree using if statement. You make a decision tree, a series of if conditions provided there, and as per the required condition get executed. As long series of if tree you will make, as your program will be more have a more automated, or you got more intelligent program, and it will definitely having the more facilities for the user. On the one hand side, when we say it's the facility for user orientation, anything that is more visible on the end user, it actually means that behind that program, there's a lot of hard work have been done by some program. So here the decision tree using if statement. It was series of if statement, and then we execute some criteria. Here we want to put a real life algorithm. In this algorithm, I said that only we are buying something. So here we are going to be a unit price. In anything that we have a unit price is defining the price of a single item. So we go with the unit price. If you get a readable, start doing the readable variables for the price of unit. One unit is the price of 10 rupees or $10 or whatsoever currency you are calling on. And then we says number of goods you purchase. The second purchase, this option is carrying on number of goods I am purchasing, number of goods we are purchasing. Here we want to launch a scheme, a regular scheme, that if I purchasing 1 dozen, if I get to 1 dozen, so 1 dozen definitely give me hit with 10% of discount. And similarly, if got 2 dozen, so 2 dozen should give me 15% of discount. And computer should calculate and show me if you buy the 3 dozen, and 3 dozen will give me 20% of discount. If I buy 4 dozen, so it's so on. As you want to make any type of series, 4 dozen is my 25% of discount, the 25% of discount. And anybody buying 5 dozen and more, 5 dozen and more, anything above 5 dozen, so we give 30% of discount. So here, what are the problems? We have two problems we have to solve in this program with our programming. The one thing is that the computer have to calculate the number of dozen we have got. Definitely, we are not giving it 1 dozen, 2 dozen, 3 dozen manually. We are giving him number of units purchased. Here with number of goods, and what we will input there, number of goods. Number of goods should have to be random. Random, not accurate dozen. Random, not accurate dozen. We are not giving them dozen. We give them 14 or 17, a random figure. I want the computer should calculate by itself. We give a logic in a programming that how many dozens are there. And according to those dozen, we implement this basic discount technique that we are giving 10%, 30%, 15%, 20%, or vice versa. So every time I just put this program on the basic units, you already know now these three lines repetitively. Here I will float point to unit price. Definitely unit price can vary in floating point. And when your discount is going to be when we are not inputting exact round figures, so definitely the discount also come in decimal positions. So here we learn one thing more, that as the lecture continue, so we will unveil reveal you that mystery, that how simple things can be done in C++ without using multiple options. There are multiple functions. The whole Bible of C++ function is there. But if you want to solve it by your own logic, you want to implement it by your own logic, then that is more beneficial for you, and you're able to develop. These are basic clutches of a huge vehicle. If you want to make a huge airplane, you should know what's the basic clutch is doing there inside of the engine. So here, the basic foundation of software development we are explaining to you that we have two different data types. And definitely we are go in the multiplication and division operation with two different data types, and we want the resultant answer in float. So when we run this program automatically, when you get the result and where you found some problem, then we have provide you the solution as well. So unit price here, I put the unit price, we assume at 10 rupees, and then integer purchase, the purchase variable is there. So purchase variable will count you. And here's the enter number of units you want. We take a scene from your purchase. We already done this in IO stream. That going to be left shift, right shift. This is right shift. Is your right hand. If you hold with your arm, you find this right shift, and this is left shift. See out use the left shift. See and use the right shift. Now also memorize this thing. Right shift, left shifts. Very simply with your arms. Left shifts, right shifts. Now here I get a series of statements. This is called a tree, decision tree. This thing is called, actually we said decision tree using if. All the analysis, financial analysis, and all the financial boards you people nowadays are working on in stock exchange or any financial department, in any executive support system or any automation system where you are getting the advice from computer that which stock you should purchase, which stock are high risk stocks, and which stocks are low risk stocks. These all the artificial board performance is going with the decision tree, and all the decision tree is only can be founded with using if statement. The decision tree using if statement, here we got a series of ifs, so we got series of if. Any condition get true, and any condition get true, only and only that line will be executed. That if the purchase divided by 12 is equal to 1, means the resultant will come as 1. If you are 14, then automatically the divide when they come with the division of 12 is come to 1. So it is a 1 dozen, so 10% discount on a dozen. We say simple formula of calculating a 10%, purchase multiply by 10 divided by 100 and so on. If it's 2 dozen, then we give them 15% of discount, and 3 dozen, we give them 20% of discount, and if there are 4 dozen, we give 25% of discount. Similarly, here I put sign of greater than, that if purchase divided by 12 and the resultant is 5 or more, either 5 dozen or more, 30% discount on 5 dozen or more, and similarly same calculation. Very simple calculation. Hope so everybody able to understand this calculation. Let's see, we dozen by dozen. First we carry on. We check it out that how it's work. I compile it first. Okay, now I get it by 12 units. First we go with the round figures. Okay, so you give me 1 rupees of discount, so 10 multiplied by 100, and definitely 10% will be 1 out of, if anything of a price of 10 rupees, then the 10% discount will be 1. Okay, then again, if I played here, now we are going with 24. So 15% will be 3 items. That's correct too. Then we go with 12, 3, the 36. And we go with 36, 36, 3 dozens. So it's going to be 7, 20%, 36, 20% of price of a unit of a price of 10. Then on 36, 7% of that is 7 rupees, definitely. On 20%, if we are going them on 36 item, we remember is on the price of 36 item. In 36 multiply by 10, the total amount is 360. Then we are going on now with 4 dozens. So 48 pieces if we buying on, so I give you 12%, 12 rupees and 25% of discount on your total value. Now let me go with random numbers. If I start from number 14, it's not a whole number. So again, you'll say it's giving 1 point. Definitely it should have to be 1.4. It should have to be 1.4, but it's giving me 1. Okay, let's see. And then it's at 27. And we give 27 here. So again, we check it out, it's getting 4 again. So it's giving me a round of answers. Because one integer multiplied with float, so it's giving me only round of answers. So a lot of things are there, depreciation and conversion. But the basic thing I told you that if we are doing any operation in C++, where integer and floating points, 2 different variables, integer and floating points, double or float, multiply with integer, the result must be in a decimal function. But if you are dividing it with the integer, so that problem arises. So what you have to do, don't use any type of function, don't use any type of conversion, simply press 0.00. As a whole number, now you give him a floating point. He says 100.00. Now check it out. On first only do one correction and check it out. That's a practical technique I'm telling you. It's not from the book. You will verify only by your own practicals. 1.4. Let's see. It's now not 1, it's 1.4. Now rectify it because only I put 0.00 here with the 1 division. I didn't put it on the condition of 2 division. So now I'm going my second problem. I put 27 here. On 27 again, you got only 4. So okay, let's rectify it to 0.00. Put a 0.00 here. After that, make it compiled. And then again, so if I put a 27 on the random number here, I want a decimal answer should have to be the 4.05 this time. Next technique. So this technique only you can learn from us. We're actually going with the practical programming. Every single line is coded in front of you. Every single program executed. You don't have to verify these programs. And if you are practicing with me line by line, then definitely it's for easier for you to learn the C++ language. And our furthermore languages, we are uploading other things. So 27, 37, 38, now decimals are coming. So this decision tree. Hopefully people learn that thing, that decision tree. So video is getting too long. So we are learning with only this example. Should go with the examples like this decision tree. Our next lecture will be a continual of the same decision tree, and we try to use more real life operations. Those are day to day life. You are having your observations, so you are able to code those problems. Those are real business problems or real official work things are there. So our next example will be in our lecture 12. We will go also with the second example of decision tree function. For time being, it's end from our today's lecture. So today's lecture is making a decision tree using X. So any important questions, you can write down your comments. If you got any type of problems from any previous lecture, as well as if any type of problem in this lecture, go ahead, don't hesitate, write in your comments, any type of confusion you are getting on, so we can answer you in our next coming lectures. Thank you.